What's up? Welcome in a special video edition of Hoge Jahns as we welcome in Josh Lucas to the show. You heard him on the podcast, and now we're going to break down some film for the first time. We're really excited about this, Josh. Thanks for doing this. You gave us a bunch of plays you wanted to look at. We put some telestration in it for you, and there's a lot to get to from this Bears-Broncos game on Sunday.
Appreciate you having me. I tried to pick some plays that not only, told the story of Sunday, but maybe tell the story also of what's going on for these first, 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, let's jump right in. So Bears are trailing 7-0 first quarter, late first quarter here. It's 2nd and 7. Actually, I think this changes. So it's 3rd and 6. Yeah, it's 3rd and 6 because this is right before it ends up being 4th and 1. So I'll just let this roll. You tell us what's going on.
So this is the second third down of the game, and this is, we're in 11 personnel. You can pause it here. 11 personnel. They motion to go to a 2-by-2. You always see that pre-snap motion. That's always going to be for the quarterback to try to get a man zone tell. Some teams will show it and make it obvious. And Denver is matching here in nickel. They're showing a 5-man pressure. I want to talk about this play because what we see here, if the quarterback's on time and playing in the rhythm of the offense, and this is something Justin's been struggling with this year, this ball is going to come out as soon as Mooney breaks to the sideline and makes his. I don't know if Mooney has a choice to have a two-way go here. He's playing off a Surtain, but as soon as Mooney makes his cut right here, that ball should come out. And it's a routine first down. He's pushed out of the end zone. But what happened here with Justin delaying and holding on the ball just a little bit too long, not only does he invite pressure towards him that he doesn't need to, Mooney doesn't get across the sticks. And now instead of a routine first down, move the chains, we're stuck in a 4th and 1, which hasn't been a guarantee for this team. This is where Justin really needs to improve. This should look easy. He made it look hard. This is a good job by the offensive line. You'll see here, the left tackle is going to get a bull rush from Cooper. This is a little more leaky than you want. We'll see from the left tackle here, but it's functional. It's okay. You don't want to get rocked back like that, but the ball comes out on time. He never sees that. Go back one more time. You'll see they're running a 3-man game up front here. I think 99 is the looper. It's a little late by Cody. He's a little late to get his eyes around him, but it's fine. He gets his hands on him. He pushes him out of there. That ball comes out on time. Those hands, those bodies are not next to Justin. It looks like a much more clean, routine play. It's good to coach off of positive plays. He still got the ball out. Mooney made the catch. Instead of 4th and 6, it's 4th and 1. We know what happened. They lined Cole up under center and they were able to convert and keep the drive going, and they eventually scored a touchdown.
Can I ask you one question on this? Going back to the sideline angle, is there?
Absolutely.
It looks like Justin's eyes are inside. Maybe is there? And you mentioned possibly a 2-way go for Mooney. The corner's playing outside leverage. You think maybe Justin thought Mooney was going to go inside, like right here, instead of outside, and that caused the hesitation?
Again, I don't know what's being. This is the hard part when you're not in the building to know exactly. But either way, even with his eyes starting where they started, like as soon as he saw Mooney break outside, boom, you got to bang that ball on him right now. And you see this with Justin every week. There's this delay. There's this pause where I think, to me, it looked like his eyes are in the right spot. And he's just a little bit deliberate, a little bit too methodical. Ball needs to come out. I'm watching an Ohio State quarterback in Houston right now, CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
There's some things on there that aren't perfect and things that you're going to have to worry about as far as projecting Stroud going forward. But what he's doing right now is he is playing on time. They are down 2 offensive tackles. The ball's coming out fast. This is where Justin really needs to improve.
And I imagine this is a route, a concept they've run a bunch in practice to get in time in various drills too, right?
100%. And this is the second, third down of the game. They're probably still on their scripted plays.
Yeah.
The good part is he started the game 2 third downs, 2 for 2 on completions. The bad part is they both were left just short of the first down marker. Obviously, the second one, they were able to sneak it and convert.
All right, let's go ahead to the third quarter. Bears now up 21-7. It's 3rd and 9.
I love this play. This is opposite of what we just talked about on the first play. Clearly, again, they're in 11 personnel. Cole's going to motion over here to a 2-by-2 set. It looks like Denver's in dime, so they have an extra DB on the field. They're playing with 6 DBs. The key to this play is this is opposite what we talked about. Clearly, the Bears' 2 tackles did not get the snap count. 75 and 58 both freeze. They're laid off the snap. So you get a free runner here in Jonathan Cooper coming off the edge. This is an example of a quarterback compensating for a lack of protection. This is timing. This is getting the ball out. This is trusting your best receiver to make a play on a very routine slant route. Ball's out. This is it's hard to see on this tape. This is an unbelievable throw, but this is an even better catch. To catch this ball, the velocity that it was coming in this tight quarters, this is an example of playing on time. And even with your 2 offensive tackles not even blocking a soul, you're still able to convert a big 3rd down. This is what we need to see from Justin consistently through 4 quarters. He protects the offensive line here. I don't know what was going on. Obviously, 75 and 58 were both confused. Must not have got the snap count. Whatever the case was, Justin makes up for it by playing on time, playing in rhythm, ball out fast, free runner. He takes a shot, but ball's still out. And like I said, DJ Moore, that's the catch of the game to me. That kind of contested catch with his hands at the angle they were at to snatch a ball going that velocity with that much pace on it in a crowd with really little vision, with the DB kind of shadowing him on the front. That's a hell of a play by the receiver. So this is 2 plays, 2 opposite situation, holding on to the ball, causing pressure, and then getting the ball out quickly, negating pressure.
Adam, can you go back to the snap moment and just look at Darnell right here?
Yeah, that's why I circled him on this.
He doesn't even, especially the other angle.
It looks like he's taking a nap.
Yeah, it looks worse the other angle too, where you're facing them from the front. Like he's wondering what's going on. Like, let's see if we can pause it here. Look, and then he gives you that look like what's going.
Yeah, he gives you the confused look.
Well, we know that they went to the next level with their cadences this year. Luke Getsy talked about that in training camp, and I think it's obvious, maybe it's the center change too that happened or whatever, but you see this throughout the game if you watch the film. Like the offensive linemen, it almost seems like more times than not are not on the same page with when the ball is getting snapped.
Yeah, they had several false starts as well, to your point.
All right. Another 3rd down here.
Okay, we're in the 4th quarter. This goes more to game management, situation in a game. They're, again, 11 personnel. They motion into a trips formation. Denver doesn't give them a man zone tell. As soon as the ball snapped, you can clearly see this is man. This is like a man-free concept. This play is going to your tight end. Justin Fields knows he's got a one-on-one underneath. I talked about this before the season started. This is one of the main personnel issues on this roster right now. They are in desperate need of an F tight end. An F tight end has to win this matchup. You have a one-on-one matchup against a backup safety. That's the Bell from Oklahoma, who was a 5th-round pick in 2022. You have to win this matchup. And if you go back to the wide, Adam, that you can see there's no setup in this route. It's clunky. There's no outside stem to try. You have a 2-way go here. There's no outside stem. It's a clunky, lazy route. The DB runs it for him. And now, right after Denver scores to make it 28-14, it's imperative for the offense against this defense to control the ball and run clock. You cannot afford to punt the ball back to them right away. This is where they need a major upgrade at the F tight end position. Cole's playing both roles right now. He's playing Y and he's playing F. I think that the vision was Tanyan was going to play that F role. He's not the same player he was in Green Bay. He's not. He doesn't have the same movement he had at one time. So now you're getting Cole kind of being stuck playing a position that's really not his natural position. He's a true Y all day. Protection's good here. It's a 5-man pressure. You got to have a guy who's going to win that. And whether it's a slot receiver, whether it's an F tight end going up against a backup safety, because now you're punting back to Denver. You're punting back to a Hall of Fame head coach, a Hall of Fame quarterback. They start to smell blood and they go right down the field and score, and it's 28-21. You got to be able to convert in those situations to keep the opposing offense off the field.
So why not use Robert Tonyan in that? Do you see enough from Robert Tonyan to be used in such situations these days?
There was a handful of snaps this past game where Tonyan played the F in 11 personnel, but just a handful, which tells me that they trust 85. Players that have significant injuries, lower body injuries in their careers, sometimes they recover and they're able to play, but the key to the F tight end position, it's a receiving position. You just want them to be functional as blockers. They just need to be able to get in the way. Their job description is to win one-on-one. They have to be able to win one-on-one versus linebackers and safeties in this league. And I think they've seen enough from Tonyan to know that he doesn't have that movement right now. And you can see it on tape. He's a very one-speed mover right now. It's monotone. It's kind of oozy. You want your F tight end to be sudden, explosive, and agile so he can win this one-on-one route against 32. From Cole, that's not his game. It's not in his DNA. That's not what they paid him to do, and they're forcing him to do that right now because they just don't have another body on the roster that can win those routes from the F tight end position.
All right, this is the big 4th and 1 that everyone's been talking about, and there's a lot to get to on this play, including some of the things that Matt Eberflus and Darnell Wright said, I think.
Yeah, Bears are in 12 personnel, 2 tight end set. What's really curious on this play is why your second tight end isn't Mercedes Lewis. I don't know the rhyme or reason. I don't know if he was banged up. I don't know if they feel, because the job description on this play for Tonyan is good to go out in space and block, and maybe they feel that's a better matchup. Or maybe with Tonyan in the game, maybe it gives Denver a little more hesitation that, hey, this might be a pass. Clearly, they're in a bear front. They got 5 down. They're basically in their base. Their base 3-4 look. So right now they are playing the zone read. You can clearly tell Jonathan Cooper is the read player here on the edge that Justin Fields' eyes are going to go to immediately. Justin is not reading that spiking linebacker. He's reading the edge player, and the player stays home, causing Justin to hand the ball off. What happens when you have a second-level spiking linebacker like this is it's nearly impossible for your right tackle here to chip and then to climb to that second level to make that block. When there's a run blitz and a spiking linebacker, it's almost impossible for any right tackle. 58 is a hell of a run blocker. He can't get there. It's too hard. The guy's on a run blitz. He's spiking. This is a philosophical thing. When it's 3rd or 4th and less than a yard, for me, this is why I cannot stand playing from the gun. If you go back on this play from the tight angle here, just watch what Nate Davis and Patrick do to this nose tackle. They dominate this block. They root this nose tackle in the middle of the screen here. They root them out of there. If your quarterback's under center, you don't give time for this penetration into the backfield. Every team in the league is going to this quarterback sneak, the push, the cush tush push, whatever it's called. There's a reason everyone's doing it, because it works and it's highly, highly effective. When you play from the gun, By the time the running back gets his feet to the line of scrimmage, there's too much time for penetration. And right here, the Bears are not able to stop the penetration. Game's over if you convert here. Broncos guessed the play, and they guessed right. That happens in football. They guessed the play. If the Bears are coming from the gun, they're going to run this zone read, and they played it perfectly. Advantage Broncos. And now Denver gets the ball, with a chance to go and take the lead. I just don't like, philosophically on short yardage situations for me, guys, seeing teams run plays from the shotgun. It's very, very confusing to me. I think it's just overthinking things. Just keep it simple. Get under center. Execute your quarterback sneaks to perfection. They're almost impossible to stop. And hey, if they stop you, then hats off to them. Right here, you put yourself in an impossible situation to be successful.
So after the game, Darnell Wright blamed himself for that failed fourth down.
To add to that, John's yesterday, Matt Eberflus also kind of pinned it on Darnell. He didn't mention Darnell Wright by name, but he talked about that block that we're talking about and talked about it like it should be made. So that's what's fascinating here for me, is that Josh is saying it's basically impossible.
Look, he has to chip 92.
Yeah.
Cole's got outside leverage there. He's going to have a hard time if 92 penetrates this and 58 doesn't pay attention to him. 92 is going to make that play.
Right.
58. I've watched NFL football, college football for 20 years now. When linebackers spike like this, and you're trying to climb to them with a double team, and then one of your linemen releasing out to the second level, it's rarely done where somebody executes this block. Maybe you hope he gets his hands out on them and pushes them a little bit. I'm not blaming Darnell right here. Maybe they are. Maybe they think he should have executed that block. I've seen this time and time again. This is the defense guessed the play, and they guessed right. It's as simple as that. They knew what play was coming.
Well, and when you're in shotgun, and you're running zone read all the time out of it, that's why.
It's a hard block. Now, he pulls that ball, and they run some kind of play action pass. Denver's going to be absolutely screwed because of the penetration of those two linebackers. They're going to have no second-level defenders, but they didn't, and they ran it, and you saw the result. And if they're pinning that on 58, and kudos for 58 for taking the blame and taking the responsibility, that's what a good pro should do. But in my years of watching, this exact concept, this exact play, that's a hard task to be able to chip, help out your tight end, and then climb up to a level when the guy's run blitzing like that.
All right, let's go to, so now the Bears are losing after the field goal, and it's the last minute, 1st and 10 here.
1st and 10, this play, if you just pause it real quick, 11 personnel like they've been in most of the game with Cole as the F tight end. Denver, I believe, is in a dime situation here where they've brought an extra DB. Dime's always going to look exactly like nickel. They just got instead of another inside linebacker, they got a 6 DB playing down there. Yep. To me, this is the play of the game. This is the most frustrating part for me, just talking about the Chicago Bears quarterback, Justin Fields. He played really well on Sunday for 3 quarters. He really did. There was stuff you see throughout the game where you see progression, you see improvement, you saw confident throws. You have to get rid of this ball. This is another example of him getting his eyes in the right place. You got Tyler Scott up top here running a backside dig here. Justin's eyes are on him, and he goes right there. You got to throw that ball. The throw's there. It's going to be tight. It's going to be contested. If it's incomplete, you live to play another down. If you roll it back from the beginning,
he's looking at it.
His eyes are to the center. He sees this robber. They're in kind of like a man-free robber look. This guy's robbing this throw to Mooney, which would probably be your primary read. He takes that throw away. His eyes immediately go to his second read, which is Tyler Scott. The throw's there. He makes this exact same throw the first 3rd down of the game to DJ Moore. It might be a different play concept, but It's a 15-yard dig route that he makes on the very first play, very first third down of the game. You got to throw this ball. If you throw this ball, there is no pass rush. The ball's out. Obviously, 62 and 64 could have helped him out here. 62 thinks he's got help to his right, and he does. Nate, in my opinion, goes to help the tackle a little bit too early. I don't know that he needed to. I think I'm going to trust Darnell Wright versus Bitonio one-on-one. Nate kind of leaves him, and Patrick just stops on the play. So 93, who's not a pass rusher at all.
He's not even really rushing.
No, he knows he's double teamed. He's just kind of going to play contain. And because of the miscommunication or whatever you want to call it, you get a leaky pressure, and now the quarterback panics. Should have never happened. That ball should have been out. Quarterback panics, can't find anywhere to go to the ball, and he throws it and chucks it into the ground.
So right here, he's got to right
where the
there.
back foot hits
right there. You can tell he's looking that way too. Yeah,
we've seen this. Adam, you came over to my house to watch tape. We saw it in the Tampa Bay game.
Yeah.
We've seen it a couple times throughout the course. This is where you got to see progression. This is where you got to see consistency. And this is a huge play. This is way more bothersome than the interception we're about to watch.
Wow.
Way more bothersome.
So real quick, because I know Bears fans are going to watch this and they're going to say right here, it's too late. There's a guy in his face. How's he get that throw off? Well, the problem is it's there that you want him to throw it.
Yep.
It's when that back foot gets to the back of the drop, and these are the okay, Tyler Scott's not open yet, but he is, because this is the NFL. It's NFL open. These are the anticipatory throws that everybody's asking Justin Fields to make more.
He makes one on the very next, or 2 plays later. We're about to watch it. It ends up in an interception. Sometimes that happens. He's got to throw this ball. At worst, you hope once the pressure gets to him, he's able to chuck it out of bounds or towards a Bears receiver. The one thing they could not have happen here is an intentional grounding, because now you're in second and forever. You're running out of time. They run a little dump pass to Cole to make it 3rd and 13. This is the final offensive play, 11 personnel. They motion to trips. They get exactly what they want. This is 3-on-3 over here. This safety's, I think, going to bail out of here and play kind of a man free. And you got 3. No, this is your 3-on-3 over here, because you got the add-on is the dime linebacker. This is what we want to see from Justin as far as anticipating the throw. Clearly, he delivers his ball well before Cole's out of his break. Cole's got to do a better job of protecting the throw. He's got to box out this safety, who, by the way, is a 14-year vet, instinctive playmaker. This guy's a really good player, and he feels what Cole's about to do to him. And this is a vet picking on a young guy, and he makes a hell of a play. Justin sees the outside leverage of the DB, and that's why I think he decided to put the ball towards the inside, because he feels the outside leverage. The DB does a hell of a job of showing outside leverage and sneaking inside of that. Cole's got to do a better job of protecting it. Ball placement probably got to be a little bit better by Justin as far as being on him. This is NFL football. This happens. Like, I'm not killing Justin for this play. I'm much more concerned about the first down play that led to the intentional grounding that put you in this situation on 3rd and 13. Protection was good on this play. It's a 5-man pressure. It's a hell of a job by Herbert picking this dime pressure coming from 23. There was time, there was a pocket, everything you want. And this is NFL football. Sometimes great players make great plays, and that's a hell of a play by 22. You wish it was a little bit better from 85. And it leaves, the hardest part for me before we get to the Broncos offense and the Bears defense is it just leaves that nasty taste in your mouth. You had this quarterback finally break through, play well for 3 quarters. And then, the fumble on the boot that led to the touchdown, the intentional grounding, and then your final throw is an interception. And it's just, that's hard. As someone who roots for Justin Fields, that's hard. Like, you finally had that game. You have this momentum. We're going to win a game. And at the end of the day, the end result is the same. You're 0-4, and now you're still searching for your first win. And that's hard. It's frustrating, and it's going to take a lot for him to continue to push through this noise and to push through, all this negative media attention. And we'll see what he's made of and see how he responds on Thursday.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll talk more on the podcast about maybe why a short week might be the best thing for him here. Yeah, let's talk about the Bears defense a little bit.
Yeah. So, stop it right here. They're in 12. I think they're in 11 personnel. The Bears are matching this with their nickel. 27 is going to pass this off to 22, and they're playing some kind of a man concept. The point of this play to me is kind of a mirror of what's going on with the Bears, in my opinion. You got a banged up secondary who's playing a lot of young players. There's a lot of dropped coverages. There's a lot of miscommunication, and you have a lack of pressure coming from the front, which leads to a lot of easy routine throws. And I don't know if this is where, not being in Hallis Hall, I can't ask all the questions I want to ask. I don't know if 29's anticipating some help from the inside, but I think this is straight man for the two outside corners based on what 32 is doing, and based on how 27 and 22 pass this off. This Judy quick speed motion, which is the first read.
You see Blackwell here tell the safety, hey, you're taking the man in motion.
100%. And that's the first read. 22 does a good job of taking this throw away. And now you have no pressure coming from the front. It's a play action pass, which is hard to generate pressure to begin with. And you have 29 confused, just beat, but throws in the red zone have to be contested. You cannot allow layup throws like that where he's just dumping the ball across the field. This ball's got to be contested. And if it's a touchdown and they make the play, hats off to the Denver Broncos. But you can't allow layups like this.
And look at this protection. Like, he's got all day back there.
He's got all day. And 29 just drops it, or, I don't know. Maybe someone was supposed to bracket the guy. Maybe one of the inside backers is supposed to bracket him. Because if you rewind the play, this is a 3-man route by Denver. They're max protecting on play action. You got four Chicago Bears, 27, 49, 9 Brisker, and 53, essentially guarding no one. You got 4 inside players covering no one. 49 takes this late releasing tight end. So I don't know if 29's expecting help. It doesn't look like it from the way the play unfolds. But again, no pressure, young DB making a mistake, easy touchdown conversion. And I feel like we're seeing this a lot with the Chicago Bears defense right now. And then, you know what? That's hard on coaches. It's hard on your GM when you're missing guys in the secondary. It was supposed to be the strength of their defense. It was supposed to help compensate for some of the lack of pressure coming in the front 7. And they're just banged up. You got Eddie Jackson on the sideline, Jalen on the sideline, Gordon on the sideline. That's hard. You got 3 starters out. You're going to have coverage lapses, mental busts, and just rookies making, rookie mistakes. So they're living with this right now, and it's a recurring theme. And then hopefully as they get healthy, we'll see less and less of these easy routine throws. This from the defensive perspective to me, this is right after the Cole Kmet route we watched where he didn't win one-on-one and they punted the ball back up 28-14. Denver goes right down the field. Now you force a 3rd and 11. This is probably the most frustrating play on the defensive side of the ball for me from this past game on Sunday. They're in nickel. They're dropped to, it looks like they're in some kind of quarters coverage. And if you go back, right to when the player catches the ball. You're going to see them. They're mugging the line of scrimmage, showing pressure. They just bring a 4-man pressure. 49 and 53 are going to drop back into their zones and pause it right when 17, Little John Humphreys, catches this ball. He catches it right on the 20-yard line right there. It's 3rd and 11. The sticks is the 14-yard line. He's got 6 yards to go. Oh. This can never happen. You are paying this guy at 49, Tremaine Edmonds, a lot of money. You're paying 53, a lot of money. They have to make this play. You force them into a 4th down situation where they have to go for it or they kick the field goal. You cannot allow this. You pull your hair out if you're the defensive coordinator on this play. If you're Eberflus and you're calling the plays, you called a good defense. You get some pressure from 95 that speeds up the throw a little bit. You got 2 veteran linebackers in the vicinity, and this guy escapes because of a bad angle by 49, and he leaks through, and it's 1st and 10 now. That is frustrating. You should be off the field or at very least, defending on a 4th down play where you stop them there and the game's probably over. That's frustrating. You need those vet players that have been around, have been in big situations to make plays that are right there in front of them to be made. And now it's 1st and 10, and they score. Obviously, we're about to watch the play right here.
Yeah, another third and long.
They force another 3rd and 9.
Oh, we've seen this all season, though, Josh. Like they've been so bad on 3rd down.
Yeah, just stop it here for a second. They're in 11 personnel. Bears are matching it in nickel. We're going to play. They're going to be in zone coverage here. I think they're playing cover 2 here. You're going to see 49 drop into his zone and 53 drop into his zone. It's a 2-man high-low concept for Russell Wilson. He's going to have 10 run this little shallow hitch. Pause it right here. He's going to have 10 on that little shallow hitch, and he's got a skinny post from Cortland Sutton, from his outside receiver. You want your linebackers to be in this throwing lane. So you want 53 to gain a little bit more depth. This is where you wish they were switched, where you had that extra length from 49. 49 gets sucked up by Russell Wilson's eyes. Russell Wilson's eyes go right to Jerry Jeudy in the middle of the field, and you can see as he starts to throw, 49 commits to 10. Not the worst thing in the world. Go back to the wide because this is the most frustrating part for me. Brisker, 9. You're in the red zone.
Top of the screen there. Yeah.
You're in the red zone. It's 3rd and 9. No one can go behind you. There's nowhere to go. It's the end zone. He is flat-footed here. As soon as 14 breaks, he should be on that like stink on shit. Like he should be on that. That should never be an uncontested throw. He's late to read. He's late to break. And this looks like a routine, easy play. And that should never be. That should be a big-time collision. That should be a PBU. I think right now, Brisker, to his credit, to me, he seems like he's playing through a lot right now. I feel like he's battling. He's making these big collisions that he made last year. Last year, he's popping up. It's exuberant. He's celebrating. This year, I feel like he's laying on the ground. That shows me that he's probably dealing with some stuff. Credit to him for playing injured. But what happens a lot of time is, you're not playing as fast. You're not playing as confident, and stuff like this happens. And this cannot happen. That was too routine. It's too easy. Obviously, you want 53 and 49 to help out a little bit better. You want 53 to get a little more depth because he doesn't have any clear threat, and maybe he can get his hand on this ball. But 9 should be in a position to make a play on the ball and the receiver, and he's just way too late. Routine throw. And then the story of the Bears pass rush, they have a 4-man pressure playing zone coverage, and they have no one getting remotely close to getting home. 91 just falls down. Dominique Robinson, number 90, he has one move and one move only. He tries to run down the center of the tackle's chest every play. He's highly ineffective. He's not productive. and the two interior guys are trying to run a little game there, and they run into each other, and no pressure, zone coverage, Hall of Fame quarterback. He's going to find guys to throw the ball to.
It doesn't even have to be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah,
I feel like it's happened every single week. Yeah,
exactly. They've been over, I believe, over 100 quarterback rating every single play. First play, this is frustrating. You pause it here. First play, they're in 11 personnel. Bears are in nickel. Again, lack of pressure. Young DBs making mistakes. The Bears are in a cover 2 concept here. 32 actually does a good job of syncing with this because he doesn't have a threat to his immediate flat vicinity. So he actually does a good job syncing with this. 22 gets stuck on this inside route here. His eyes are bad, and he is incredibly late to get off the hash and make a play on this ball down the sideline. I believe that's Judy. Again, lack of pressure. The quarterback has all day to throw the ball, and you have young DBs making mental mistakes, not being in position to where they need to be. And on the very first play, after you get stopped on 4th and 1, they get a chunk, explosive play down the sideline. 32, as I said, he carries it okay, but 22 has got to be off that hash. That cannot be an uncontested throw. This is a layup. This is like practice. This is like 7-on-7. He should be off the hash way before that, being in the vicinity to make a play on that ball. If you go to the tight, we can – sorry, that wasn't Judy. That was 19. Go to the tight. 4-man pressure, I believe. Again.
nothing.
All day.
Just nothing. You're running a little game there, with Billings. That's another thing. If you pause it right here, stop it right here. This is got to have it for Denver. We're in passing situation. It's 1st and 10. They're in nickel. I really like Billings. I think Billings is one of 2 defensive players who's playing at a winning level based on his ability. But man, he should not be on the field in nickel obvious passing downs. This is where you just see a lack of interior pass rushers, period. Sometimes they throw 95 in there to be the inside rusher in nickel. They just don't have enough guys. And this is a lazy loop by 97. It's not impactful. 95 and 91 are getting hemmed up, and there's no pressure. And the quarterback has all day to exploit a young, inexperienced secondary.
Well, and that's what's concerning to me, Josh, is because, for a giant 1 technique that Andrew Billings is, he's probably on the field because based on what I've watched, he's actually gotten the most penetration so far this season, even on passing down. So
he's been a pleasant surprise. I don't disagree.
Well, that's kind of concerning for the rookies that you drafted.
Yeah. Pickens is just not a pass rusher at this point. I wouldn't mind seeing Dexter out there, when you're in like kind of a Rushman package where you're putting your 4 best out there. Not that he's there yet, but at least there's those traits, and maybe he can just, use his physical ability to cause some disruption. But bottom line, they don't have enough guys up front right now that can pressure the quarterback, and it really hurts them in these situations, especially when you're playing with a young secondary.
Well, that's all we got here. Awesome stuff, Josh. And Josh Lucas also joining Hoge Jahns on the podcast. So make sure you check it out there. If you're just checking out this video for the first time, please hit subscribe here on the Hoge Jahns YouTube channel. And also you can find all our podcasts here as well, or wherever you listen to your podcast. So go check it out. A lot more conversation with Josh Lucas over there on the pod.